Margaret.
Happy birthday, Margaret.
Oh,
Happy Papas.
oh.
Glad to see you back.
Yeah, it's lovely. Good morning, welcome to iCare, iMove. This is Move More Reimagine, and this is week 25 of 25, so the final session. So thank you for joining us. And we're going to run through some assessments that you might already have done, but we do need you to send them in for us so that we can score and send off our report to the commissioners. So, and see, most importantly though, see if you've made an improvement. You might have stayed the same. You might even have taken a little dip down, but it's okay because we're hoping that we've slowed down any deterioration that you might previously have made. So let's show you how to do the assessments properly. And actually, it's always good to practice these because they are some of the important movements that we'd like you to do. So the first one is our sit to stand, and you need to make sure, if you can, you don't have to do it now, but if you wanted to, you can. Push your chair against a wall so that it's firm, it's safe, and it won't go back. And we will time you today for 30 seconds so that you can do it with us and count. So have a piece of paper, pen, or just clock it in your head how many you're going to do. So we start in standing. So come up safely, and if you can do this with your arms crossed, then great. So just folded. Make sure you're away far enough from the chair but that you can sit down safely. And we're going to go in.
Are you demoing first? Silent demoing first?
Yeah, I'll silent demo first. So don't do it yet, and then we'll count. So it's a sit down, stand up. That's it. That's all you have to do. But when you sit down, I want you to sit on the chair. And then when you stand up properly. It's not a plop. It's not like a dip.
Okay.
5, 4. Oh,
3,
sorry.
2, go.
Go. So.
You don't have to follow Pat's rhythm. Go as many as you can in your 30 seconds. Good. We're 15 seconds in. 20 seconds. 5 seconds to go. And stop. Well done.
Remember your number.
Record it.
Write it down. Send it to me. Yeah, or pop it on your forms if you've not already done your forms. Last one is our 180-degree turn. Just watch first. I'll come to the diagonal. So I'm away from my chair, so I've got space to turn.
Silent demo.
I will. And I'm going to count how many steps I take to turn to face my chair. Don't do it yet. That's it. Okay, you can do it the other way, but I just want one recording safely. You can use crutches, sticks, whatever you need to do. If you can't do it, naught. Okay, so stand up, take your time, back of the chair, and then you're going to turn to face and count your steps. Ding, ding. Lovely. Good. So just a half a turn.
Jenny, don't get mad, love.
Yeah. Don't worry if you can't do it. It's
Good
fine.
girl. She got there in the end.
And if you can't do it today, try tomorrow and send it. That's fine. Well done. So that's your 180-degree turn. And we recorded that when you started, so we'll record it when you finish and see the difference. Or the same. It's fine. Lovely. So today it's really hot. Make sure you have a drink by you. Make sure you've got space. Make sure your windows are open. If you need to stop at any point, please stop and have a rest.
Just take your time, Jenny.
Stop and have a rest and come back in when you're able to, yeah?
That's all.
Mm?
That's it, Jenny. Good girl. She was still doing her assessment.
Okay. Lovely. Right, so let's get going. Final week. So come forwards in your chair. Hip walk forwards in your chair. And then let's hip walk back. So where are your feet? Feet, knees nice and wide. Hip walk forwards and backwards. And a whole body movement. So it's not just a shuffle. I want to see your whole bodies, your shoulders coming side to side, lifting and shifting the bottom forwards and backwards as we move forwards in the chair. If you're on, you should be on a dining room type chair. I'm on a fabric chair, so it's a bit harder because I'm getting stuck on the fabric. Lovely. Really good for core muscles, core strength, hip strength. When you're at the front third of the chair, stay there. And I'm going to come up to standing to warm up, to come into your circulation boost. If you need to sit down today, stay seated. You can always come up to standing later and join us. So up to standing, pump your heels at the top. That's the law. Stops you feeling dizzy, etc. Lovely, David. Good. Breathe, relax your shoulders. We're going to walk around the back of your chair or come to your support, whatever that might be, and into your march. So just lifting the heels, feet are under the hips, shoulders are relaxed and down. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to take our feet nice and wide. Soften the knees. And we're going to come into our shoulder raises. So lift the shoulders up towards the ears, drop them down. And again, so lift, shrug, drop them down gently. Keep going, lift and lower, and lift and lower. Lift, bless you, Shirley. Lift. It's hay fever season, isn't it? So if I sneeze, I apologise. Lift and lower, and then we're coming back to a march, just a gentle heel lift. Circulation boost, pushes the blood, the oxygen up to your heart, to your brain. Soft hands, fingers, no tension through them. And then feet come wide again, this time shoulder roll. So it's shoulders up, back and down. Soften those knees, so don't have your knees kind of, so look, soft knees, not locked out. Lovely, good, roll back, back and down. Getting some big movements into those shoulders, releasing any tension, stretching out through the fronts of the shoulders and the backs of the shoulders, up the neck. Good, and back to your march. Breathe. Like I said, if you need to rest anytime, if you're hot or you need a drink, please just stop and rest. It's really important to just take it easy in this hot weather. Okay, feet under hips again, hands down by your sides. Let's come into that little side lean. So it's lean into the side. You can slide one hand up and the other hand comes down. Really kind of working through the waist, the ribs, and into the outsides of the hips. Keep those knees soft. So from the side, I'm going literally sideways, not forwards. We might do that in a minute. So side, side, side. Okay, let's do that then. Let's change that. One hand slides down the front of the leg and the other hand slides up the back of the bottom. So it's like a diagonal. Slide, slide. And you won't be able to go too far back. Just a little way. Slide, 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 and then let's change sides. So hand slides down the front and up the back. Slide and lift, slide and lift, slide, lift. And then we're coming back to the march, so gentle, soft hands again. Fabulous. Excellent. Okay, we're going to come back to hips, knees. So bend through the knees into our little half a hula hoop. Side and centre, side, centre. So we're coming from one side to the other. So make sure you alternate and make sure you do bend your knees, otherwise your hips will feel really stiff. So I'm not going backwards here, I'm just circling to the front. So side, front, side, centre, side, front. You can see that I'm not going backwards. I'm not pushing, I'm not in a whole circle. We're just stretching here, warming up the back of the hips, the back of the pelvis and the fronts of the hips. Okay, back to your march. Da, da, da. You should be feeling a little bit warmer. We're going to be gentle today. It's already warm, so fab. Lovely, good. Okay, we're going to come to ankles, heels, feet. So we might come to foot camera. So we're going to dig our heel into the floor, then toes touch the floor, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels, toes. That's right, I'm on foot camera now. Heels, toes, thank you. Heels, toes. And you know I love this one for our ankle mobility. It's so good for your ankles to get them moving. If you're struggling with that, a little circle one way and then the other way is as good, but really try and reach the outside edges of that movement. Otherwise, keep going. Squeeze the toes up, push the front of the foot forwards. Squeeze and press, squeeze and press, squeeze and press, squeeze. And then we're going to come to the other side. So exactly the same. You can move around your chair or your support. Seated, it's exactly the same. Seated, sometimes it's easier to just point and flex and then add a little circle. Point and flex and add, actually that feels quite nice. Point and flex, add a little circle. Point and flex and add a little circle. Lovely. Make sure you go one way and then the other. If you're standing, keep going without pointing and flexing. Okay, we're going to come into a little heel raise. So lift the heels, lower down. Lift the heels. Now what's the law here? Put your weight through your big toe, second toe, and that creates that ankle stability. Great, so lift and press up, push down through the big toe, second toe, and lower down slowly. So really working through the feet today. Getting all the, you've got lots of bones in your feet. And we need to get them warm. Okay, we're going to lift the toes just slightly, and you might feel that into your shins. Try not to stick your bottom out. Just try and transfer the weight into the heels. Good. And then let's come forward. So forwards and back. So rise on off your heels, lift the toes, lift the heels, lift the toes, lift the heels. So putting it together. We only normally do one at a time, don't we? But actually, you're more than capable of doing this. Heels, toes, heels, toes. And then we're going to do Helen's favourite, her little Elvis knee. So a little wiggle, jiggle of that knee. So you kind of come onto the ball of that foot and drop the heel as you circle. Imagine a circle with the knee. Okay, and it's working the hip, working the knee, the ankle as well. So let's go in the opposite direction. Circle. Da-da-da. And you could sing an Elvis song if you wanted to. And then let's change sides. Little knee circle, one way. Fabulous. And then let's go the other way. Circle, circle. Lovely. Okay, fab. And then let's go back to that heel march, the march. Okay, let's swing those arms a bit more now. So making the arm movements quite big. Hands come up to the sides of the ears, and then elbows come behind you. Relax your shoulders so you've not got your shoulders crunched up. Breathe, keep breathing. You can do this exactly the same in seated. Da-da-da. Excellent. And then we're going to start by tapping. So tapping out to the diagonal in front of you. You can have a chair to hold on to, or you can be unsupported. You can be by a wall, between chairs. Da-da-da-da-da. We should have had a little music. Congratulations. You've graduated today, so yeah, well done. Okay, we're going to step, so side step, just a single side step. Same in seated, little tap to the side. You can tap together or just tap one foot out and then the other. Take your time. There's no rush. That's it. Lovely job. Good. Back to your march now. Okay, we're going to step over. So we're going to step over something and then back over. So one leg up and over, second leg up and over. If you need to come to the diagonal so you've got something to hold on to, you can. Step over. If you're sitting, lean back in your chair. So if you're standing, keep going. If you're sitting, lean back in your chair, step. You can either step one and then other leg, or lift, just small steps. Da-da-da, da-da-da. That's it. Remember to rest if you need to. Stepping up and over, and not quickly like I was going. I get carried away. Step over, step, and you might start to get out of breath. You might be getting a bit warm now. We're into endurance now, so we're keeping the heart rate up, raised, which is going to improve your heart health, your cardiac health, circulation, and your ability to get up hills and slopes and stairs and things. Okay, back to your march. Lovely. We're going to come into some squats. Knee bends, so feet are slightly wider than your hips, toes are turned out a little bit. Stick your bottom out first, stick it back and then bend, but don't go too far down. So stick it out and bend a little bit, tuck your bottom under, because what happens is, because you're bending, you're kind of arching your back. We don't want to do that, tuck your bottom under. So just a small way, without tipping forward. So the movement is down and up. If I was to go too far, I might go forwards, and that's not the movement. So in seated, come to the front third of your chair, tuck your feet back, hands across. You can push if you want to, but please push with both hands. Just a bunny hop is what we're looking for. Just a bunny hop. Or if it's easier, you could step up, stand up and sit down. But this is quite strong. Squeeze your bottom when you get up and squeeze. So squeeze at the top, lower, squeeze through the thighs. Try to keep the heels down, okay? If it's too difficult, just a small movement. Honestly, I'd rather you did a small movement correctly than in poor technique. Lovely. So keep your eye gaze to about 45 degrees. That's it. And then lift your heels or march. Well done. So that's quite a hard one, especially in this weather. Using all those big muscles in your legs, your bum. But it's what will keep you being able to stand up and sit down for a long time if you keep practicing. So a march. Okay, we're going to do lunges. So you can come to the side of your chair, or you can have your chair in front of you, depending on how much support you need. So this is in the chair, this is by the back of the chair, and this is to the side. So I start with my feet under my hips. I'm taking a step out and forwards, and then back to that wide base of support. Step out and forwards and back. Step seated, it's exactly the same. Sit forwards on your chair, take one foot out and lean in. So step and lean. That's it. Try not to look down. You don't need to look where you're going necessarily, unless your cat's there or your grandchild or something. So a big step and a big push. If you're confident doing this, can you step further, or can you make that same step but add a big push off, making sure that you're not overbalancing when you come back? So step, big press back. Feel the difference, feel that power through that leg. Rest if you need to. You can always stop and just pump your heels. Press, come back, press, come back, press, come back, and then you're done there. So lift your heels. So smashing through endurance. Just lift the heels. Breathe. Breathe. Fab. Good. It's a bit hot to do fartlek today.
It's like your feet are sticky.
Yeah. That's it. Great. Let's do a little bit of coordination. Can you step forwards, forwards, back, back, forwards, forwards, back, back. Do it by the side of your chair. In seated, just tap forwards, or a heel dig. Dig your heel into the floor, change sides. So you can see I'm leading with one leg. That same leg comes back first. And I'm going out, out, in, out, out, in. Commonly known as a V step or a box step. V step. Okay, we're going to lead with the other leg. Same movement. Out, out, in. And it might feel a little bit different. It might not. As we lead with our less dominant side, maybe. It's good to practice that though. Try doing things with the different side, with your weaker side, with your less dominant side. I'll show you seated. So we go out, out, in, out. So you can see wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow, wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Good, good. And then march it out. We're coming into a double side step as we start to bring your heart rates down. Da, da, da. Step together, and back, Step together. Is Nick still on or not? No. Could you just take a photo of the?
Yeah, I think she's done that.
The new people, the people who joined late though. I'm just wondering if. That's it. Step together. Step. How does that feel? Do you think you're more confident now than when you joined us? Maybe you were holding on for dear life when you joined us, and maybe you're.
Thumbs up there and a nod.
Yeah, maybe you're just having a finger on the chair, or maybe you're unsupported, maybe you're really confident, or maybe you're the same, which is fine. Sometimes people have conditions that mean that you might not improve, but we might stop that deterioration for you. So, da da da. How's your spatial awareness? You know, sometimes when we're fearful, we worry about where furniture is. We might be a furniture grabber. You might have noticed that is better. That's improved. You might find yourself going to places you wouldn't have done before. And people might have noticed a change in you. And it might just be confidence, not just. Confidence is massive. Just march. So we always like to hear these things, because it tells us that the program is working, and you all have different ways that it affects you. So it's really good for you to, even if you think it's really small, they're huge life-changing events sometimes that happen. So, okay, coming into balance. So, slightly the same, but not quite. So just watch first. Grab a drink if you need to. I'm going to step over something, but this time I'm going to step forward. So we've always stepped to the side, but we're going to step forwards over something. So I'm going to step over. Now you don't want to kick it with the other leg, so you've got to lift the other leg and then walk back. So we're going to do one leg leads first. So step over, and then a walk back. Step over, and you don't need to make these movements as big as me. You could make a small movement. So it could be just a step and a step, walk back. How does that feel? Does it feel okay? If you're pretty confident, can you step back over it? So you step over it, but oh no, you've got to go back. Step back. Step over and back. In seated, it's lifting those legs up and over. You might not be able to lift them up and back, but again, leaning back in your chair might help. Okay. Other side. And again, clock how it feels. Different sides. You might want to move your chair around so you've got some support, or wander around. So other leg lifts up and over, lift the other leg up and over, and notice your ankle. So especially when you come backwards, you really have to lift toes down, heel down. So you need that flexibility in the ankle, don't you? Feel it. So I'm landing on my toes, the ball of the foot, a flat foot. I steady myself and then I lift the other foot. So that's why we need ankle flexibility. Step forwards, step backwards, step over, and then hold it there. Lovely, lovely. Are we okay? Everybody okay? Give me a thumbs up. Right. So we're going to do what we did last week. We're going to step. And do you remember we picked something up that was below your knee. So I'm dropping down, I'm coming back up, and I'm stepping back to normal. So it's a step forwards, lift the back heel, dip down. So you're not picking it up off the floor, but it's there on a stool. And then you're going to step back. I'll show you how to do that in seated in a moment. So it's a bend down, step back. That's it. And you can look down towards the floor, but about a 45-degree angle. You don't need to look at what you're picking it up today. Keep going, one side only. In seated, it's a step forwards and it's a lean. So just trying to think, you're dropping down, picking something up like underneath your knee but to the side, but you're still keeping your eye gaze 45 degrees, about a metre in front of you on the floor. Step back and step in. Good. And then let's change sides. Okay, so I'm going to step. I'm going to wiggle that foot back if you need to, and then a little lean down and a step back in. Or stand up and walk back. So you've got various options. It's a step and a lunge down, and you could just bring your foot back slowly, or a big step down. You can hold on. Most important here is you can see that I've still got a wide base of support where my legs are. I'm not one foot in front of the other. So even when I dip down, I'm steady. Good. Step, lean, stand, press back. Have a rest. Grab a drink. That's quite, even though, you know, it's balance, we're working those big muscles in the legs. Okay, have you got a wall near you or not? I was going to do some press ups, but, oh no, that's not balance. Well, no, it is. So I was going to try and combine, you can do it with a chair. I was going to combine a walk with a wall or a chair. So just watch what I'm going to do. I'll do it with a chair, just in case many of you haven't got a chair, haven't got a wall by you. So I'm going to walk, I'm going to step, I'm going to hold my chair, and I'm going to do a little press. Might do a couple. See how you feel. And then I'm going to step together. I'm going to pump my heels. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk away. And then I'm going to turn back. I'm going to take a step to my chair. I'm going to take a long step forwards. Hands to the edges. Few presses. Step in. Pump your heels. I'll show you with the wall. So I'll do it on against the back wall because you get the drift. So to the wall, away far enough from the wall, hands go wide, little press. So a bit of strength, a bit of balance, a bit of coordination. So a bit of everything all together. And if we had you live in the class, we would be walking around the room. You would have walked into the session. So there wouldn't be a problem having you walking around the room. Maybe coming to the wall and doing a few press ups, standing up, turning around, walking away. If you're sitting, you might want to do some eyes closed. You might want to march with your eyes closed. You're safe in the chair, and turn your head, because that will help your balance. Da-da-da, da-da-da. So kind of pressing, standing and turning around is going to hit those vestibular systems. So you might feel dizzy when you're pressing away from the chair and you turn around. So take your time. Take your time. Whew, hot, hot. And then just come to a standing position. Grab a drink if you need to. Lovely. So we're going to come into our reach sequence. So we've been practicing this over the last few weeks. My feet are wide, wider than hips. We're going to reach up and forwards, and you can decide whether to come onto the balls of your feet or not. So we're going to reach up and forwards, come down. This is a slow movement. Same in seated. If you're sitting, feet wide but forwards. Okay, so you've got like a triangular base. So up and out, come down, up and out. Okay, we're going to reach out to the side. So reach out to the side, come in, then the other side. Reach out to the side and in. Let's do that a few more times. Reach out and out. Let's go one more time. And then we're going to reach downwards, so not all the way down, but down and forwards.
Well, Beryl.
Come up. She's concentrating down, forwards and up, down, forwards and up. Lovely. Okay, we're going back up. Take your time. Up one hand, up one hand, up one hand. Can you do both hands? If you want to try without coming onto your toes, that's good.
Jenny, you're doing really well.
But you don't have to. Same in seated. Reaching up, reaching up. Okay, we're going to the side. Side reach. Other side. Side reach. What's going on with your feet? Are you lifting that heel naturally? You look amazing. So side reach. And you might not need to do this often, but actually you never know. Down, reaching down, reaching down. You can step forwards, add that lunge if you want to. Different planes of movement is good for your brain as well. Remember, muscles have memory. That's it. Okay, let's run through it one more time. Reaching up, reaching up. Both hands. If you're getting puffed out, you don't need to add your arms so high. Okay, let's do one hand, reaching up. One hand, reaching up. Both hands, you don't have to do both. Lovely, and both hands. Good. To the side. Side reach. Side reach. Good. Is one side better than the other? Do you feel steadier on one side? Reach. Last time down. So down. Come to center. Down. Come to center. Down. Center. Down. Lovely. Good. And then hold it there. Last one, and I want you to practice this. Flamingo, stand, hold. So we slide that foot back. You can hold it there, you can hold on, or just hover, or have fingers on. Think about your posture. So shoulders back and down, belly in, bottom tucked under a little bit, and then we're going to lift that heel and just hold for as long as you can. Comfortably hold. Eye gaze is forward, so you're steady, your posture is lovely. And how do we come out of that when we're ready to? We take a nice wide step out, that recovery step, that compensatory step. And then let's go again. Same foot. Now I haven't got trainers on today, so it makes me more aware. So spread your toes out. Put the weight through the big toe, second toe. Slide that foot back. If you just want to stay there, that's okay. We're going to lift and count, so relax your foot. Tuck the bottom under. Ready to step out. Da-da. Good. Remember how long you were on that side. And we're going to change sides. If you're sitting, you can lift that leg up in front of you. Or pop one foot on top of the other. If you're sitting, that will make you naturally unbalanced. You can lift your arms so you haven't got as much support, and see how you get on. So other side, all the same principles. Think tall, head pulled up, chin tucked back, shoulders relaxed, and we're going to lift the heel, lift the foot, eye gaze forwards. Breathe. Oh, you're so steady. Oh, look at you. One side might be better than the other. Big step wide to recover. Your compensatory step, forwards or back, you can step depending on which way you're wobbling. You might not be wobbly. Last time. So when you get tired, your hip will stick out. Bring it in. Think a great alignment. Slide that foot back, knees are kind of level, and then we're just going to lift that heel, relax the toes, relax the foot, breathe. Weight through the big toe, second toe. Sing a song if you want to. Lift your leg if you're sitting. Oh, and ready for that big step out if you haven't done already. Big step. Wiggle jiggle your hips. Give them a little rub. Your back, or whatever might ache. Oh, lovely. Let's soften the knees. Let's come into a big circle. Just release everything. Big circle all the way around. Soften the knees. Try and keep your shoulders over your hips. So the movement is waist, hips, bottom, and then reverse direction. Seated, it's that big shoulder, lovely Jenny, that big shoulder movement. So making a circle with your shoulders forwards, around and back. And then the other way. Excellent. Lovely. And that's your balance done. Whew, grab a drink.
That's a lot of balance you did today.
That was, yeah, we covered a lot of balance. So the bits that you're rubbish at, or you think you're rubbish at, practice those. Don't just do the things that you're good at.
That's life.
There is life, and we go, oh, I like that. It's all right, I can do that. And you feel that you've accomplished something, but actually doing something that you're not very good at is more of an accomplishment. So try the things, not that scare you, that you need to, what you know those things. If you worry about stepping, practice it even more. Practice holding on until you build up your confidence, and then hover. It's always there. Or one finger. One finger, it's a bit like when you're tiddly and you have to put your foot down so it stops spinning. One finger can really help you to feel steady and safe. Okay, we're going to move on to strength. So I do want to go through that step away from your chair sequence, because you need to be good at that. So have a sit. Well, you don't have to sit down. You can stay standing. So we start in the back of the chair. I'll show you the whole sequence. We hip walk forwards, feet back, cross your arms if you can, push up at the top, always pump your heels, step away, turn. You can do this super slow time. A big step to the chair. Hold on to the chair, and then we're going to wiggle jiggle that foot at the back a bit more. I'm going to bend that back knee. Can you see it bending down towards? So I'm going to go on the floor, but you don't have to, but you can do. I'm pressing down through this foot, and my toes are curled. I'm pressing into that back foot. So I'm leaning forwards, big press. Bring that foot in. Pump the heels. Take your time. Come up to standing. You can always use your legs. Pump the heels again. Turn around. Take your time. Feel the back of the chair. Stick your bottom out. Land on the chair. And I'm right at the back of the chair. If you're sitting, hip walk into a bunny hop, or just a stand and a sit down. Or the other thing you could do is a staggered stance and press. So that's your lunge. It's like a lunge. One leg and then the other leg, okay? Otherwise, hip walk. Try it with no arms, or try it with arms down by the side. If you can do it with arms across, big press up, heel lift. I'm going to use my other leg to step forwards, and then I'm going to turn around. You can join in if you want. I'm going to take my other foot to the outside edge. I'm going to hold on to the chair, wiggle jiggle the toes back, because then you've got a big step. You've got a long step, a long stride. Eye gaze is neutral. I'm going to drop that back knee down, down, down. And then if you wanted to, you could swing the other leg back down. To bring that leg up, I'm going to show you the other side because it's easier. I'm going to bring that leg around.
Max is going for it.
Fabulous. Curl your toes. Big press through the toes, through the foot. Press up. Step in. pump your heels, stand up, turn around, take your time, breathe, have a rest in between, and practice this at home. And I just want to explain that big step to you in a minute when we'll get you to sit down, rather than a little narrow step.
I'm there with you.
Yeah. I'll wait for everyone to sit down. So I just want to have a sit down and just watch the difference, okay? So I'm going to stand up, pump my heels, step away. If I take, maybe you want to explain, if I take a little step and I'm going to try and get my knee down, look what happens. There's no room. I'll show you this other side.
A lot of this is about confidence too, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Look what happens.
the more you repeat this and practice this, the more comfortable it becomes.
Yeah.
And we're less fearful.
Yeah, and I think people think that if they've got a long step, they're not going to get up. But actually, so see the difference? If I've not got a long step, my knee's hitting and I'm having to come to the diagonal and it's further to get that knee down. Whereas if I'm in a long step, I'm in the right position and I'm nearly there. My knee's not touching the chair.
The message is definitely keep practicing.
Keep practicing. And even if it is that big step here, wiggle jiggle that foot back. Even if you practice that, just a wiggle, and then come in from there. Other foot, wiggle jiggle, and come back in if you don't want to take a big step. It will all help to build up those movement patterns that you need to be able to get up from the floor safely. Lovely. Grab your bands and let's do a little quickie session with your bands. What haven't we done for ages? I was going to do arms, but oh, let's do. So let's do this. Helen did it in Pilates.
She went,
Ooh.
in a really cool
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you made me nervous then.
So we're going to make a little dinner size plate circle. So tie a knot and then a bow. Otherwise you'll never get the blooming thing undone. So you've got a little circle here. It's hot, isn't it? Okay. Have you done it? Or you don't have to do a circle. You could just hold it. So we're going to bring the thumb through the front of the circle and then grip. This elbow is going to, oh blimey, I got a new band. I can't go very far. So you're pulling that elbow back. I'll show you from the front. It's like a bow and arrow. Pull back, release slowly. Pull back. So this arm is nice and straight. So working through the shoulder strength, but also the other shoulder is having to pull back and let go. So you've got one arm, one thumb in front. Okay, so start there and then pull. And even if you can just go a little way, that's fine. Pull back, release, pull back. And then let's change sides. So other thumb through, feet are wide or staggered. Hold on to that band and pull back, release, pull back, release, pull back, and release, pull back. Okay, then we're going hands in, palms facing in. And just drop the arms down a little bit. And can you take those arms out a little bit? Nice long arms, pressing them out to the side. Breathe. Those of you with sore shoulders, just make it small. Or you can do it without the band. Press out, press out. Palms down, same, press out. And I can't go very far with this band. It doesn't matter how far you go, it's the resistance on that matters. So slowly out, slowly in, slowly out, slowly in. Two more. Out and in. Oh, we were going to finish early. Roll through the shoulders, get rid of your band. Let's stretch you out. Take one arm across your body, hug in, back of the arm, pulls in, relax the shoulders, and then come to the other side. Oops. Pull in. Lovely. And let go. Let's take that first hand up. Can you take that one up and over your body? Over your head. That's it. Come back down. Other hand comes up and over.
They're an impressive bunch.
They are. They are. Reach away. So reach up into the corner for a big stretch. Okay. Interlink the hands. Push forwards. Pull the chest and the lower back back. Pull back. Drop the chin. Pull in. And then come up. Hands into the lower back and a big squeeze of those elbows together. Lift the chin. Breathe. Roll through the shoulders. Let's do a little leg stretch. So leg is outstretched, toes are pointing up to the ceiling. Other foot comes forwards, hands on the thigh and leaning forwards into that stretch, hinging from the hips. Breathe, you're nearly done. And then swap sides. Leaning in. And then come up. Roll through. And you're done, lovely people. So let's come. Well done. Thank you for joining us. We're at the end of our week 25. End of the course. Send in your assessments. We're going to come offline now and we'll talk to you. But if you have any questions, send us an email at info@icareimove.com and we'll have a conversation with you and let you know how we can support you moving on. If you want to do the course again, let us know and we'll keep in touch with you.
We want them to.
We do want them to, yeah. So everybody on Zoom, stay on. We're going to chat with you about how we can help you. Otherwise, thank you, everybody watching us at home.